I've kind of maintained that if you weren't moving up to the 1 or 2 spot, that there might not be a whole lot of difference between 3 and 4, 3 and 5, 3 and 6, and that was the potential that we fell back to. This is going to obviously open up a little bit of probably more options for us in terms of the players that we're going to have to look at. So I think that we are now going to have our work cut out for us going into this process. Kind of narrowing down who we think might go in those top spots that especially in the 3 and 4 spot where there is some question, because that'll determine obviously what comes to us. We like 6 or 7 players in this draft. I think there's actually quite a few that I've said will be impact players in this game for years to come, and it was short on star potential. You might argue that there's only a few, and they were right there at the top. So we'll see how it plays out. We've got our work cut out for us, as I said, to determine who the best pick is for us at 5. But I don't think that it's a dramatic fallback in terms of number 3 to number 5. And in fact, we'll get a little bit more relief looking at the bright side, or if there's a silver lining here. If you plug in the number 3 pick versus the number 5 pick, there is a little bit of savings there from a cap charge standpoint, which opens up a few extra dollars to work with the other things that we need to work with, and that's namely free agency. So we've got to look at it from a positive standpoint that we're going to get a good player at 5. We just got to make sure that we have a good feeling of who's going above us, and then what the best player is to take once we get there.
Bryan, do you think at the 5 you want to address the need, or you take the best available talent?
I've been saying all along, I think we're a team that has a long way to go, but you take the best talent, and it's obviously we'll look at all the circumstances before I say that without hesitation, but we've got to look at what other things happen between now and draft time with respect to trade conversations. We've got to start lining up what the prospects might be of signing a particular free agent, and really study that list and know who's available and what attributes those players have. But again, I think we're going to be taking probably the best player, best talent at 5. But there's a lot of time between now and draft time that could shape that decision. So I don't want to be set in stone right now with that.
Given that there's so much things at play, if you keep that number 5, would that guy be a rotation guy, you think, next year?
It's very early to say. We've got a very young team, as you know. We've given a lot of our young players opportunities to play. I'm committed to this rebuilding and committed to the development of young players. We've shown that with Ed Davis and last year, and DeMar the year before. And years ago, Andrea Bargnani got a chance to play quite significantly as a rookie. But with so many young players and so many things uncertain about the roster right now, it's hard to say that whether or not the number 5 pick will be a rotation guy, be an impact player next year. It may take a few years to get everything you want out of that pick. This might even sway our decision with respect to who that guy might be. Based on some of the players are projected out 2 or 3 years out. Some of them are more immediate, and we'll have to certainly factor that into our thought process now.